Yo, it's your homeboy Kiiro Sagi in the building. Welcome to another episode of my One Piece discussion series. This is episode 10, my first double digit episode. I was hoping it could be something a bit more epic, but I had to make this video and it's just my luck. Now, why did I have to make this video? Basically, this other YouTuber called King of Lightning, who is a pretty crazy anime YouTuber. He's actually the first one I subscribed to ever. Do check him out. If you're into anything mainstream, I guarantee he's gonna have something you like, so check him out. He made a video about this topic, and when I looked at the comments, obviously I presumed I would bump into fanboys, whether Law fanboys or Luffy fanboys, but when you see some of the comments, which would obviously be dumb and stuff, some of the comments are dumb and all that and completely false, you wonder sometimes, you ask yourself, is this person a fanboy or is this person simply uninformed? Because if the person is uninformed, then obviously they're going to fight using the false information they have. You get what I'm saying? So it's not their fault for being wrong. They just think that that's what's right. You know, they're misinformed. They're not necessarily fanboys. And so this video is here to educate all these people who fall under that bracket, as well as to end this, fanboy nonsense. I'm just gonna lay out the facts, and at the end of the video it's gonna be clear who's stronger and why. Now, if you are a fanboy, you're already gonna know who is stronger, because one thing is, you know what, I'm not even going to go into that. Let's just start. I'm going to be as fair as possible, and you're going to see how I'm going to do it. We'll start with the most important thing, which is devil fruit. Now, Eno was far stronger than Luffy, right? But Luffy won the devil fruit matchup, and that let him win, even though Eno had a better devil fruit and was just stronger in general. But Luffy won the devil fruit matchup. Now, against Law, this isn't the case. Law wins the devil fruit matchup, and Law's fruit is already stronger. So Law is stronger and better than Luffy in terms of devil fruit. Now, like I said, we're going to be... Now, it's supposed to end right now, but I said we're going to be as fair as possible. So, for argument's sake, let's assume that both characters have an equally strong devil fruit. So the next important thing will be Haki. Who has more Haki? Or better with Haki and all that stuff. Now, we haven't seen much of Law's, observation Haki and stuff. It's hard to say just how strong it is. But in terms of armament Haki, Law is clearly stronger than Luffy in that department. However, I'm going to give it to Luffy. And you're probably surprised now, and you're wondering why. Now, like I said in my last video, armament Haki, or Haki in general, can shift with emotions, willpower, all that stuff. And if there's one thing Luffy has an abundance of, is willpower. So if Luffy's angry or in the zone or turned up or whatever, his Haki is going to be stronger than any other supernovas any day. It's always going to be stronger if Luffy has the boost from his emotions and stuff. And so on that note, I'm going to have to give it to Luffy. Now, let's assume once again that both characters have an equal devil fruit and both characters have an equal level of Haki. The next thing that would be important is technique, which is basically how many hacks techniques do they have. That's pretty hard to say, hacks techniques. Yeah, so how many hacks or advanced techniques do they have? Now, Luffy has 2 advanced / hacks techniques. This is getting hard to say. Hacks techniques. Luffy has 2, and that's gear 2nd and gear 3rd. Law, pretty much almost, not all, but almost all of Law's techniques are hacks, and Law has more than 2, so Law wins. It's that simple, really. Law has a lot more than 2. Well, just being more than 2 already, instant victory. So Law wins in that department. Next is fighting style. How do they fight? How do they approach the fight? So let's assume, again, equal in all these departments. Law is a swordsman. Luffy isn't. Luffy in fact uses no weapons, but Law uses a weapon, and Law is good with his weapon, even though we can say both of them are good at fighting, but Law uses a weapon and Luffy doesn't. And Luffy has no resistance to Law's weapon, which is a sharp object, not a blunt weapon. So, if Law had like a club, obviously that wouldn't really help him against Luffy, but Law doesn't. Law uses a sharp weapon. Law wins in the fighting style department. So, another win for Law. Intellect. Who is a smarter character, whether it's in combat or not, but we're going to focus on combat because that's the relevant thing. Law in Dressrosa and Punk Hazard alone, we've seen Law do some really smart stuff in terms of fighting, and I'm convinced already that Law is smarter than Luffy. If you think otherwise, please leave a comment explaining why. Obviously, Luffy has done a few smart stuff, but overall, I think Law is smarter. Law is always smarter. Like, Luffy has a few moments of genius, or a few moments of being smart, rather, but Law is always smart. You get what I'm saying? And with the Luffy's few moments of genius, that has a bit of luck in it. You get what I'm saying? Because it's not constant, so you can lose the fight before you get to have your lucky moments of being smart. But Law is already smarter. It's always smarter and stuff. Next is endurance. So let's assume everything. Let's assume these two characters are completely drawn. They're equal in strength entirely. The person who is gonna be a stalemate in that case. However, if one person has more stamina or endurance than the other person, then that person is gonna win. And in this case, it's Luffy. I think that's again pretty obvious. Luffy and Zoro, the two supernovas with the most endurance, with Zoro being first place. It's pretty straightforward, I think. If you think otherwise, please leave a comment below, and I'll check it out and see why you think so. So we've gone through everything, and if I was a biased fanboy, Law would have won with the first point, which was double food, but I said we're going to look at this thing as fairly as possible. And so we're going to look at how many wins Law has against Luffy's, and if you're bad at math, Law has one already. And basically Luffy has 2 points, one for Haki, one for endurance. Law has a point for fruit, a point for technique / versatility, a point for swordsman, for being a swordsman and his fighting style and stuff, and a point for intellect. So Law has 4 points minimum. You could make it 5 points, but let's just be, again, fair as possible. So 4 points. Luffy has 2. It's a clear victory. Law has double of Luffy's points. Law is stronger and better than Luffy. It's that simple, and the facts are there. I've laid it out in a plain, it's as simple as possible. That's pretty much it. Hopefully I can squeeze in a new video before the next chapter comes out. We'll see about that. Once again, I appreciate you guys watching my vids. Thank you very much for watching, and do not forget to check out King of Lightning. He's I'm serious when I say that, he's worth checking out. He's pretty good. Thanks for watching.